From Consumption to Creativity, Part 2. Suddenly, without warning, Capability Camel screeched to a halt, almost throwing Raven Eye and the Major off her back. "Oh, I'm so sorry, gentlemen. I was rather taken aback by that little creature." Nodding her head towards the ground, she took another step back. "Oh, dearie, dearie me. I had hoped we may not need to meet this one." The Major shook his head, looking a little chastened. "Is that a scorpion?" Raven Eye's voice shook a little as he looked down at the small creature, feeling relieved to be high up on Capability's back. "Yes, I'm afraid it is." The Major lifted his feet as far away from the scorpion as he could. "Unfortunately, it seems we need to meet Scathing Scorpion. He's got a bit of a sting in his tail, so let's tread with caution." "I might be little, but I can hurt you all," sneered Scathing Scorpion. "What are you doing here anyway?" "We're going to the Oasis of Openness," Raven Eye replied honestly. "You idiots," snickered Scathing Scorpion. "What a stupid idea, and what a waste of time." Ignoring the attempted insult, Raven Eye continued the conversation, eager to see what Scathing Scorpion could show him. "Why do you think it's a stupid idea and a waste of time?" Scathing Scorpion tutted and raised his eyebrows scathingly. "Oh, you pathetic little boy. Why go on this creative journey? It's way easier to just consume everything instantly. Let other people do the creative stuff, I say, and you just use it." Raven Eye found himself nodding in agreement. "Watch him," warned the Major sternly. "He's a sneaky little fellow. He'll do anything he can to get you off the creative path." "That's because it's a stupid path to follow," snickered Scathing Scorpion. "You are stupid to follow it, you stupid idiot." Raven Eye felt his fist clenching, knuckles going white. This little creature was getting under his skin. Feeling the anger rise in him, Raven Eye began to jump off Capability Camel, ready for a fight. "Not so fast, young fellow." The Major grabbed Raven Eye's shoulder. "Do you see what he's doing? He's trying to get a reaction from you. Is it working?" Raven Eye realised that Scathing Scorpion was getting to him. "What do I do?" The Major leaned in close and whispered in his ear. "Don't give him what he wants. He wants a reaction. He wants a fight, because he likes to use stinging words. Don't let his words sting you." "What are you whispering about, you stupid little gnome? I thought soldiers were meant to be fighters. Are you a coward or what?" Scathing Scorpion looked up at Major Fairy Gnome, a sneaky glint in his eye. "Watch and learn," whispered the Major, turning to face Scathing Scorpion with a calm demeanour. "Well, thank you, dear fellow, for sharing your opinions with us," the Major responded charmingly. "However, we prefer to form our own learnings by actually experiencing the creative journey. So, if you will kindly step aside, we will be on our way. Good day to you, sir." "He doesn't know what to do with that reaction," giggled the Major in a whisper. "He likes to cause fights, not used to someone responding pleasantly and politely." He gestured to the Fairy Gnome soldiers, who buzzed towards Scathing Scorpion's tail, vibrating around its sting, which promptly disappeared in a flash of light. Raven Eye nodded with respect. "Wow, I certainly have learned from that interaction." He watched as scathing scorpion scuttled off, scowling in surprise at having lost the sting in his tail. Recognise anyone there, dear chap? Raven-Eye hung his head, feeling a little ashamed again. Yes, I often talk to others, and myself, like scathing scorpion. I see now how it's just a way of getting attention, but not a very nice way. I can see how it could stop someone on their creative journey if they took the words to heart. He hung his head, feeling a bit tearful. It's okay to feel that way, Raven-Eye. The Major patted him gently on the shoulder. We can all feel a little ashamed of things we have done. However, the most important thing is to focus your thoughts on what you have learned. Criticism and judgment of creative thoughts can halt your genius self in its tracks. This is why having an open mind is so important. It creates an environment where your genius self feels free to share creative ideas without the fear of a scathing response. Do you see? Raven-Eye mirrored Major Fearonome's serious expression. Yes, I see very clearly, Major. Thank you. Excellent. The Major's expression shifted back to his usual cheery demeanour. Then let's keep moving forward, eh? We are getting closer to the oasis of openness. It seemed like no time at all before the intrepid travellers met another curious character. Oh, look! Exclaimed Raven-Eye, pointing towards the ground. It's a tortoise. He seems a bit disorientated, though. He watched in amusement, mixed with a little concern, as the tortoise made slow progress along the desert floor, twisting this way and that, looking completely lost. Ah, yes, the tortuous tortoise, muttered the Major, shaking his head. He does torture himself so. What a shame for such a magnificent creature. How does he torture himself? Raven-Eye's concern grew as he realised Tortuous Tortoise was going round and round in circles. Well, as you can see, young fellow, he certainly appears to be a little confused about which direction he is travelling in, and sadly, as a result, he is going nowhere. The Major twiddled his moustache in contemplation. Let's see if we can help him, shall we? Raven-Eye nodded eagerly. Hey, Tortuous Tortoise, what are you doing? Tortuous Tortoise's head snapped rapidly inside his shell. We don't mean you any harm, Tortuous Tortoise. We're just trying to help. Raven-Eye jumped down from Capability Camel to get a little closer to Tortuous Tortoise. Hey, he spoke gently, peering inside the tortoise's shell. Why don't you come out to play with us? We're having a bit of an adventure. Leave me alone, came a muffled reply from within the shell. Can't you see? I'm having trouble here. I don't know where I'm going, and this shell is somewhat cumbersome. Yeah, I know the feeling. Raven-Eye empathised with Tortuous Tortoise. You have a heavy protective shell, and I have a heavy protective cloak. Look. A pair of cautious eyes appeared from within the shell. Can I see it? Yeah, sure. Raven-Eye turned around so Tortuous Tortoise could see his protective cloak. See all these chains? They are my protective thoughts, and I'm releasing them on this journey. The more protective thoughts I release, the lighter I feel. It's great. Tortuous Tortoise poked his head out to get a better look. It sounds like you and I are in the same boat, he mumbled, grimacing at his own shell. This shell is so heavy, it slows me down, and I'm totally confused as to which direction I should be going in. so I just keep going round and round in circles. It is very frustrating. Raven-Eye didn't really know how to respond. He often felt the same as Tortuous Tortoise. Thankfully, the Major stepped in. "Can I suggest you join us on this journey? We are heading to the Oasis of Openness." He pointed towards the shimmering vision of colour in the distance. "We are on a creative journey, so perhaps this will help you come up with some creative solutions and you can stop torturing yourself. How does that sound?" Tortuous Tortoise nodded enthusiastically. "I would love to. Won't I impede your progress, though? I can't go very fast." "Nonsense," chided the Major. "Where there's a will, there's a way, as they say. If you truly wish to travel with us, I am sure a creative solution will come to you." As if by magic, which of course it was, a sudden whoosh of air blasted overhead. "What was that?" Raven-Eye looked up, shielding his eyes from the bright light. Then, whoosh! It happened again, and Raven-Eye felt something brush his head. "Good day, everyone!" a rather squawky voice shouted from above. "Did someone just call for my assistance?" "I'm not sure," spluttered Raven-Eye, finally seeing the source of the sound. A gigantic golden eagle soared above them. "Allow me to introduce myself." The eagle swooped and soared effortlessly in the sky. "I am Eager Eagle. I am always eager to help anyone who is having a little trouble moving forward on their creative journey. From this higher perspective, I can see exactly where you are heading and can get you there by the most direct route. Straight and true is how I travel." As Raven-Eye and Tortuous Tortoise both appeared to have momentarily lost the ability to speak, the Major stepped in once again. "How very kind of you, Eager Eagle. Your skills will be very much appreciated right now. Isn't that so?" The Major directed his question towards Tortuous Tortoise. "It looks like Eager Eagle has responded to your SOS call. Is there something you would like to ask?" Tortuous Tortoise nodded slowly and shyly. "Gosh, I'm not used to asking for help. I try and get by on my own." "And how is that working out for you?" The Major glanced quizzically at the trench Tortuous Tortoise had created in the sand. "Perhaps you are learning that it's okay to ask for help when you feel like you are going round and round in circles." Tortuous Tortoise cleared his throat. Thank you for your very kind offer, Eager Eagle. I would very much appreciate some assistance in travelling to the Oasis of Openness." "No sooner said than done," exclaimed Eager Eagle, swooping swiftly down towards Tortuous Tortoise, who immediately popped his head back in his shell. "And can I suggest you pop out of that shell of yours? It's a great view up here. It would be a shame to miss it." Tortuous Tortoise bravely poked his head out, just in time for lift-off. With absolute ease, Eager Eagle gently grabbed him in her huge talons and glided gracefully towards the Oasis of Openness, sprinkling golden sparks in her wake. The Major grinned and turned towards Raven-Eye. "Are you watching, listening and learning, dear boy?" Raven-Eye nodded thoughtfully. "Yes, those creatures are teaching me a lot about myself." "Well, believe it or not, they are all a part of you. They are showing you your feelings and how they affect your creative journey. It's all quite marvellous, isn't it?" The Major beckoned Raven-Eye to jump back up on Capability Camel, which he did with very little effort. "Gosh, I feel even lighter now." Raven-Eye peeped over his shoulder and whooped with joy to see more chains had disappeared, to be replaced with the golden sparks eager eagle had showered from her wings. "Delighted with you, dear boy." The Major hugged Raven-Eye triumphantly. "We are making extremely good progress. Look, we've nearly reached the oasis of openness." The bright, shimmering colours shone vividly in the light of no man's land, magnetising the brave mind explorers into its brilliance. It was not long before they arrived at the oasis entrance. Raven-Eye gasped in awe, and without thinking, jumped off Capability Camel, running headlong towards it. Boing! Ouch! Raven-Eye slumped to the floor, rubbing his head in confusion. What just happened? There's nothing there. The Major chuckled as he jumped off Capability Camel and trotted over to Raven-Eye. "You may find you have just met the screen of screening." "The what?" Raven-Eye looked over in bemusement to the spot where he had just bashed his head. "Bless you, dear chap, let me explain. The screen of screening is your final hurdle, so do take heart. You are nearly there in the oasis of openness." "So how do I get through the screen of screening?" "Well, as you have already experienced, it is invisible and yet very powerful. The solution is very simple. To get through the screen of screening into the oasis of openness, you must have an open mind. It looks like perhaps you have been screening some of your genius self's creative thoughts, and this has caused a block to your full entry." "I didn't realise I had been screening my creative thoughts," muttered Raven-Eye, feeling a little disgruntled. "Ah, yes, sadly it is something you humans do rather a lot. A brilliant idea comes to you, but you screen it out from your thoughts, often because you think it's a bit crazy or far-fetched, or perhaps because you think it is impossible. Does this sound familiar?" Raven-Eye nodded, aware that he often dismissed creative thoughts from his mind, thinking they were a bit weird. "I guess this is effectively like dismissing my genius self." Looking sadly at his feet, he suddenly felt exactly how his genius self must feel when its creative thoughts were ignored or screened out. "Oh, I'm so sorry, genius self," Raven-Eye cried out to himself, tears suddenly spurting from his eyes. "I really will do my best not to ignore you again. How can I know when you have sent me a creative thought?" In answer to this question, a flash of colour appeared and flitted towards Raven-Eye, beginning to materialise as it got closer into... "An iguana!" he exclaimed excitedly. "It's one of my dreams to see an iguana in real life. And wow, look at this one. Its colours are dazzling." "Why, thank you very much," responded the electric blue iguana. "Do allow me to introduce myself. I am the igniting iguana. I am the feeling that sparks creativity, and the creativity that sparks feeling. I am your genius self's ally. I help it to show you when a creative thought is coming in." "Oh, how'd you do that?" Raven-Eye leaned forward, eager to learn from this dazzling creature. "With feelings, of course," responded igniting iguana, blue sparks fizzling from its body. "What sort of feelings?" Raven-Eye gasped in fascination at igniting iguana. "Any sort of feelings that sparks and ignites you into creative action, really. My personal favourite is what we call tingles. Have you ever felt that fizzy feeling in your body when an idea comes to you? Yes, I have. Raven-Eye jumped up and down with excitement. Then his face dropped. Oh, and I can't remember times when I've had that feeling, but then talked myself out of it. Oh, don't worry yourself too much about what's in the past. Igniting Iguana glowed with compassion, and Raven-Eye felt it. The important thing is that you learn to recognise the feeling your genius self gives you as a sign that a creative thought is coming in. You could call me your genius self's power animal. So, whenever you get a feeling that reminds you of me, you can be sure it is the moment to open your mind so the creative thought can come in. And, Igniting Iguana continued passionately, the beauty is that when you allow the creative thought in, you will also feel another sparkly feeling, hence my motto, feelings spark creativity. Creativity sparks feelings. Igniting Iguana fizzled with excitement as he watched the realization dawn on Raven-Eye's face. Oh, thank you so much, he exclaimed, rushing over to give Igniting Iguana a grateful hug, feeling the buzz of tingles. You have truly helped me open my mind to creative thoughts from my genius self. Raven-Eye turned towards Major Fairy-Gnome. And thank you so much to you, Major. I truly appreciate all the help and guidance you have given me on this journey. All in a day's work, dear boy. The Major blushed, secretly delighted to receive such appreciation. So, shall we see if the screen of screening has disappeared yet? Do allow me to take you there. Igniting Iguana bent down so Raven-Eye could clamber on his back. Fizzling and tingling all over, Raven-Eye let out a hoot of delight. Woohoo! I feel amazing, he whooped as everyone entered the oasis of openness, all hurdles now cleared. The scene awaiting Raven-Eye was well worth the challenge of the journey. A blaze of bright, vivid colours surrounding a crystal-clear lagoon. At the side of the lagoon, surrounded by all Raven-Eye's new creature friends, was his genius self, freed from the chains and happily strumming on a guitar. It's been a long journey, young fellow. The Major rested a hand gently on Raven-Eye's shoulder. Why don't you have a little rest in the lagoon of peace and tranquility? You deserve it. Raven-Eye didn't need to be asked twice, suddenly feeling quite tired. It was a lovely kind of tired, peaceful and tranquil. He gently immersed himself in the lagoon of peace and tranquility, floating with ease amongst the brightly coloured lily pads. It was not long before he found himself drifting off to sleep, lulled by the peaceful harmonies of his genius self playing the guitar. Tap, tap, tap. His genius self gently tapped a rhythm on the guitar's wood. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. After what seemed like no time at all, Raven-Eye slowly opened his eyes, still hearing the tapping sound. Glancing around, he realised he was back in his bedroom, and the tapping sound was someone knocking on the door. Come in, he mumbled sleepily. The door slowly opened, and his dad peered in cautiously. Am I disturbing you? He asked gently, hands held behind his back. I couldn't wait any longer. I've got a surprise for you. Raven-Eye sat up excitedly, rubbing his eyes, a lovely feeling of anticipation buzzing through his body. What is it, Dad? He laughed expectantly. This, His dad reached his hands from behind his back to triumphantly reveal, "My guitar! You fixed it!" Raven-Eye felt a shower of tingles buzz all over his body. "Thanks, Dad. You're a legend." "And here's a beautiful cloth I found. You can use it to keep your guitar shiny and polished." Raven-Eye's father handed him a shimmering golden cloth, which fizzled in his hand. "I'll treasure this," he grinned, gently rubbing his repaired guitar. The strings vibrated, a familiar sound emanating from them. "See you at sea, dear boy."